The sky was burning. Orange and red flames covered the clouds like an angry painting. Ships fell from above, crashing into tall buildings made of crystal. The beautiful city of Velos Prime was dying. Kang Do-yoon ran through the streets with his squad behind him. He was a young man, only 28 years old, with short black hair and tired eyes. His uniform was dirty with dust and blood. Some of it was his own. Most of it was not. "Lieutenant, we have 3 minutes before the next wave hits," said Sergeant Park Minji through the radio. She was waiting at the extraction point with their ship. "Understood," Do-yoon replied. He looked at his squad. 5 soldiers. 5 humans on a planet that was not their home, fighting for people who were not their own kind. "Move faster. The royal family is in the tower ahead." The Valorians were tall and beautiful beings. Their skin was blue like the ocean, and they had 4 thin antennae on their heads that moved with their emotions. They had lived for thousands of years in peace. They had built great cities and created wonderful art. They had never known true war. Then the Devourers came. The Devourers were monsters. They were like giant insects with black shells and red eyes. They did not talk. They did not negotiate. They only consumed. They ate planets. They ate people. They ate everything. Do-yoon's squad reached the tower. The doors were broken. Inside, Valorian guards lay dead on the floor. Their purple blood was everywhere. "Check your corners," Do-hyun ordered quietly. His soldiers moved carefully, their weapons ready. They found the royal family on the top floor. Queen Thalia stood in the center of the room, her forearms wrapped around her 2 daughters. She was old by Valorian standards, nearly 800 years, but she still looked strong. Her eyes were golden and filled with fear. Beside her stood Princess Vela, the eldest daughter. She was tall, even for a Valorian, with skin the color of a summer sky. Her antennae were pressed flat against her head in anger. She looked at the humans with cold eyes. "You are the rescue?" Vela asked. Her voice was sharp. 5 humans? This is what the Commonwealth sends. Do-hyun did not react to her tone. He had heard worse. "We are enough, Your Highness. Please follow us. We do not have much time. My people are dying out there," Vela said. "And you want us to run?" "Your people need you alive," Do-hyun replied simply. "A dead princess cannot rebuild a kingdom." Vela opened her mouth to argue, but Queen Thalia touched her arm gently. "He is right, my daughter. We must survive to fight another day." They moved quickly through the ruined city. Do-hyun led the way, his rifle up and ready. The younger princess, whose name was Suri, was only 50 years old, still a child by Valorian standards. She was crying quietly. One of Do-hyun's soldiers, a young woman named Han Eunbi, held her hand and whispered kind words. Princess Viola watched this with confusion. These humans were strange. They were so small, so fragile. Their lives were so short, less than 100 years. Yet here they were, risking those short lives for strangers. They reached the bridge that led to the extraction point. On the other side, Do-hyun could see Sergeant Minji's ship waiting for them. They were almost safe. Then the ground shook out from the buildings around them. Devourers poured out like water from a broken dam. Hundreds of them. Thousands. Their clicking sounds filled the air like a terrible saw. "Run!" Do-hyun shouted. "Get to the ship." "Go, go, go!" His squad opened fire. Bright lights shot from their weapons, cutting down Devourers by the dozens. But more kept coming. There were too many. They ran across the bridge. Do-hyun stayed at the back, firing again and again. A Devourer jumped at him. He shot it in the face. Another grabbed his leg. He kicked it away and kept shooting. They were halfway across when Do-hyun realized the truth. They would not make it. The Devourers were too fast. They would catch the royal family before they reached the ship, unless someone stayed behind. Dalyun stopped running. He turned to face the swarm. "Lieutenant, what are you doing?" Private Kim Tai-woo shouted. "Get them to the ship," Dalyun ordered. His voice was calm. Too calm. "That is an order." "Sir, no. We can all make it." "We cannot." "You know, we cannot." Dalyun looked at his squad. These were his people. His family. "Tell my sister I love her. Now go." Princess Vila had stopped. She was looking at him with wide eyes. Her antennae were standing straight up in shock. "Human," she said, "what are you doing?" Dalyun smiled at her. It was a small, tired smile. "My job, Your Highness. Now please go with my soldiers. They will protect you, but you will die." "Maybe," Dalyun said. He pulled a grenade from his belt. "But you will live. That is enough for me." Sergeant Minji grabbed Villa's arm and pulled her toward the ship. The princess fought, but the human woman was strong. The rest of the squad pushed the royal family forward, firing at devourers as they ran. Dalyun stood alone on the bridge. The devourers came closer. He could see their red eyes, their sharp teeth, their hunger. He thought about his home, about Earth, about his little sister Yuna and her bright smile, about the rice cakes his mother used to make, about the stars he had always wanted to see. He had seen so many stars. He had no regrets. Dalyun pressed the button on the grenade. Then he threw it at the bridge supports, thought the explosion was beautiful. White and orange and red. The bridge broke apart and fell into the river below. Dalyun fell with it. From the ship, Princess Vale watched. She saw the human disappear into fire and smoke. She heard his last words through the radio, broken and fading. "Get them home, Sergeant." "That is an order." Then there was only silence. The ship flew away. Vela stood at the window, looking at the burning city, looking at the broken bridge, looking at the place where a human she did not even know had died for her. Her antennae trembled. Something strange was happening in her chest. It hurt. It hurt in a way she had never felt before. She did not even know his name. 3 years had passed since the fall of Velos Prime. The city was being rebuilt, stone by stone, crystal by crystal. The Devourers had been pushed back to the outer systems. The war continued, but hope had returned to the Valorian people. Princess Vila stood in her private room, looking at a small metal pin in her hand. It was a human military badge, found in the wreckage of the bridge. It had the name Kang Do-yun written on it in human letters. She had learned to read those letters. She had learned many things about humans in the past 3 years. She kept the pin in a small box near her bed. Every night, she looked at it before she slept. Every morning, she touched it when she woke up. She did not know why. She only knew that it made the strange pain in her chest feel a little smaller. Vila, her mother's voice came from the doorway. Queen Thalia walked into the room slowly. Her golden eyes were soft with worry. "You are looking at the pin again." Vila quickly put the pin back in its box. "I was just thinking, Mother." "You have been thinking for 3 years." Thalia sat down beside her daughter. "You grieve for him." The human soldier. Vila said nothing. What could she say? That she thought about him every day? That she saw his smile in her dreams? That she wished she had spoken kinder words to him before he died? "I never thanked him," Vela whispered. "I was cold to him. I treated him like he was nothing. And he died for me anyway." Thalia took her daughter's hand. Her blue fingers were warm and gentle. "Humans are strange creatures, my child. They live such short lives. Perhaps that is why they burn so brightly." 80 years, Vela said. "That is all they have. 80 small years." And he gave all of his remaining years for strangers. For us, Why would anyone do that? Because that is who they are, Talia replied. I have studied them since the war began. They are young in the galaxy. They have only been among the stars for a few hundred years. But they have something we do not. They have fire. They have passion. They love and hate and fight with everything they have because they know their time is short. Vila thought about this. She had lived for 200 years already. She might live for 800 more. Her life stretched out before her like a calm ocean. But Doyun's life had been a single wave, bright and brief and beautiful dot, and now he was gone. A month later, Vela traveled to Earth. It was her first visit to the human homeworld. The planet was small and blue, covered with oceans and green land. The sky was a soft color, not like the purple skies of her home. Everything felt different here, warmer, closer. She came to attend a memorial ceremony for the soldiers who died at Velos Prime. Humans from many countries stood together, wearing dark clothes and sad faces. They spoke names of the dead. When they said, Lieutenant Kang Do-hyun, Viola's chest hurt again. After the ceremony, a young human woman approached her. She was small, with long black hair and eyes that looked like Do-hyun's eyes. She wore a simple black dress and held a white flower in her hands. Your Highness, the woman said, bowing slightly. My name is Kang Yuna. Do-hyun was my brother. Vela felt her heart stop for a moment. You are his sister? Yes. Yuna smiled, but there was sadness in her smile. I wanted to thank you for coming. It means a lot to our family that you are here. You thank me? Vela was confused. But your brother died because of me. Because of my family. You should hate me. Yuna shook her head. My brother chose to stay behind. He chose to protect you. That was his decision, and I am proud of him. She looked up at the tall alien princess with warm eyes. He always wanted to help people. Even when we were children, he would bring home hurt animals and try to fix them. He became a soldier because he wanted to protect others. Dying for you, it would have made him happy. Vela did not understand. How could dying make someone happy? Eunice seemed to read her thoughts. Humans are strange, I know. We do not live long, so we want our lives to mean something. Do-hyun's life meant something. He saved a princess and a queen. He helped save an entire people. That is a good life, no matter how short. They talked for a long time. Yuna told Vela stories about her brother, about how he loved to eat spicy food, about how he sang badly but loved to sing anyway, about how he was afraid of small insects but not afraid of giant alien monsters, about how he always said, I will be right back, but sometimes took hours to return. Vela laughed and cried as she listened. She learned about the man behind the soldier, the real Kang Do-hyun Dot before Vela left Earth. Yuna gave her a small photograph. In the picture, Do-hyun was smiling widely. He was wearing his military uniform, and his eyes were bright with hope. He looked young and alive and full of dreams. I want you to have this, Yuna said. I think my brother would want you to remember him like this. Happy, not sad. Vela took the photograph with trembling hands. Her antennae shook. Tears fell from her silver eyes, sliding down her blue cheeks. Valorians did not cry often. Their tears were rare and precious, like diamonds. Thank you, Vela whispered. Thank you for sharing him with me. On the ship back to her homeworld, Vela sat alone in her room. She held the photograph against her chest. She looked at the metal pin with his name. She thought about his smile, his voice, his sacrifice, and she finally understood the pain in her chest. She loved him. She loved him in the way humans loved. Fast and hard and without reason. She had only known him for a few hours. They had barely spoken. But somehow, in that short time, he had burned himself into her heart. Valorians loved slowly. They took centuries to choose a partner. They studied and considered and thought carefully before giving their hearts. But Vila had loved him in a single moment. When he stood on that bridge, alone against the darkness, choosing death so that she could live. That was the moment her heart chosen Dot, and now he was gone. And she would carry this love for the rest of her long, long life. She pressed the photograph to her lips. "I never told you," she whispered to the smiling face. "I was too late. I am so sorry." The stars outside her window blurred as more tears fell. 800 more years of life stretched before her. 800 years of remembering. 800 years of wondering what might have been. It felt like forever. And not long enough. The military base floated in the darkness between stars. It was small and cold, far from any planet. Captain Beak Jisoo worked here, watching screens and listening to signals from deep space. It was boring work. Most days, nothing happened. But today was different. Jisoo was drinking her third cup of coffee when her computer made a strange sound. A new signal had been found. She put down her cup and looked at the screen. The signal was weak, very weak, coming from Devourer territory. That was not unusual. Many old signals floated through space like ghosts, but this signal was different. It was using human military codes. Codes from 3 years ago. Jisoo sat up straight. Her heart began to beat faster. She typed quickly, trying to clean up the signal and hear it more clearly. Static filled her ears, then broken words. Kang. 7th Expeditionary. Still alive. Need extraction. Coordinates. Jisoo stopped breathing. She played the message again. And again. And again. Kang. 7th Expeditionary. That was the unit from Velos Prime. The unit whose lieutenant died on the bridge. But what if he did not die? Jisoo ran to her commander's office. She played the signal for him. He listened with a serious face. Then he called his commanders. They called their commanders. Within hours, the message reached the highest levels of the Human Federation. The signal was real. It was coming from a Devourer prison moon. Someone was alive there. Someone who knew human military codes. Someone named Kang. But the prison moon was deep in enemy territory. Very deep. A rescue mission would be extremely dangerous. The Federation leaders argued about what to do. Some said the risk was too high. Some said they could not leave a soldier behind. Days passed while they talked and talked. On the other side of the galaxy, Princess Vela heard the news through diplomatic channels. A friend in the Commonwealth government sent her a private message. A human signal. A possible survivor. The name Kang.Vela read the message 5 times. Her hands were shaking. Her antennae were standing straight up. Her heart was beating so fast she could feel it in her throat. Could it be him? Could Doyeon be alive? She ran to her mother's throne room. Queen Thalia was meeting with advisors, discussing trade agreements. Vela burst through the doors without asking permission. "Mother," she said. Her voice was shaking. "I need to speak with you, now, alone." Thalia looked at her daughter's face and immediately sent everyone away. When they were alone, Vela showed her the message. "The Human Federation is not sure if they will send a rescue," Vela explained. "They say it is too dangerous. They might wait months to decide." "Months, Mother. If he is alive, he might not survive months." Thalia read the message slowly. "Vela, this could be anyone. The message only says Kang. It is a common human name. It might not be your lieutenant, but it might be." Vela knelt before her mother. "Please, Mother. I need to know. I need to try. If there is even a small chance that he is alive, I cannot just sit here and do nothing. You are asking to lead a mission into Devourer space, into the heart of enemy territory. You could die, Vela. Our people could lose their princess. I know the risks. Vela's eyes were bright with tears and determination. But he took the same risks for us. He did not think about the danger. He only thought about saving us. How can I do less? Talia was quiet for a long moment. She looked at her daughter's face. She saw the love there, bright and fierce and human. Her daughter had changed so much in 3 years. She had become stronger, braver, more like the humans she admired. Your heart has chosen him, Talia said softly. You love him. Vela nodded. I love him, Mother. I know it is strange. I know it does not make sense. But I love him, and I cannot live the rest of my life wondering if I could have saved him. Talia stood and walked to the window. Outside, the rebuilt city of Velos Prime shined in the sunlight. So many Velorians had died in the war. So many had been saved because of human sacrifice. Because of one human sacrifice. Take my flagship, Talia said quietly. Take our best soldiers. And take Captain Jisoo from the human base. She found the signal. She deserves to be part of this. Vela jumped up and hugged her mother tightly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mother. Talia hugged her back, holding her close. Bring him home, my child. And bring yourself home, too. I cannot lose you. I will come back, Vela promised. We will both come back. 3 days later, Vela's ship entered Devourer territory. Captain Jisoo stood beside her on the bridge, watching the dark space ahead. They had a crew of 50, 30 Valorians and 20 humans. The best soldiers from both species. The prison moon is 2 days away, Jisoo said. We need to be careful. Devourer patrols are everywhere. Vela nodded. She was wearing light armor, blue like her skin. A weapon hung at her side. She had trained with it every day for 3 years, preparing without knowing what she was preparing for. Now she knew. Tell me about him, Jisoo said suddenly. Lieutenant Kan, you knew him, right? During the evacuation? I knew him for only a few hours, Vela admitted. We did not talk much. I was angry and scared, and I treated him coldly. I wish I had been kinder, but you came all this way for him. Vela looked out at the stars. Somewhere ahead, in the darkness, Dahyun might be waiting, hurt, alone, hoping for rescue that might never come. He came all the way to my planet for me, Vala said. He died for me, or he almost died. Either way, I owe him everything. She touched the window gently. And I love him. I do not care if that is strange or impossible or foolish. I love him, and I am going to save him. Jisoo smiled. She had seen many things in her years as an intelligence officer, but she had never seen an alien princess in love with a human soldier. It was like a fairy tale. A beautiful, strange fairy tale. Then let's go save him, Jisoo said. Together. The ship flew on, deeper into the darkness. Toward danger. Toward hope. Toward a man who might be alive, waiting for someone to remember him. Vilo would not let him wait any longer. The prison moon was ugly. It looked like a giant black rock covered with holes and tunnels, like something diseased. Devourer ships flew around it like flies around rotting meat. Even from far away, Vela could feel the wrongness of the place. There are thousands of Devourers down there, Captain Jisoo said, looking at her scanner. And the prisoners are deep underground. Getting in will be difficult. Getting out will be almost impossible. Almost impossible is not impossible, Vela replied. We go in fast and quiet. Small team. Find the human prisoners. Get out before they know we are there. Jisoo nodded. They had planned this many times during the journey. A small team of 10 would enter through a drainage tunnel on the dark side of the moon. They would move quickly through the underground tunnels, Find the prisoner blocks and escape before the Devourers could organize a response. It was a simple plan. Simple plans were best. Less things could go wrong. The landing was smooth and silent. Vila led the team into the drainage tunnel. It was dark and wet, and the walls were made of something that felt like bone. The smell was terrible, like death and chemicals mixed together. "Stay close," Vela whispered. "Weapons ready. No one fires unless I say." They moved through the tunnels for what felt like hours. Several times, they heard Devourers nearby and had to hide in shadows. Once, a patrol passed right by them. Viola held her breath, her heart pounding. The Devourers walked past without seeing them. Finally, they reached the prisoner blocks. What Vila saw there made her want to scream. Prisoners of many species were kept in small cages. Some were being used as workers, forced to carry heavy things. Some were being used as food for devourer larvae. Some were simply left to die slowly, forgotten and alone. Jishu grabbed Vila's arm. "Focus. We are here for the humans. We can save some others, but we cannot save everyone. We do not have time." Vila knew Jisoo was right, but it hurt. It hurt to walk past suffering beings and do nothing. She made a silent promise to come back someday with a bigger army and destroy this terrible place. They found the human prisoner section at the end of a long corridor. Most of the cells were empty or held only bodies. The humans here had been treated badly. Many had not survived. "Here," Jisoo said suddenly. She was looking at a cell in the corner. Inside, a thin figure sat against the wall. His head was down. His clothes were torn. His left arm was gone, replaced by a crude metal thing that looked like it had been put on with pain and hate. But Vila recognized him. Even thin and broken and scarred, she recognized him. She would recognize him anywhere. "Dohan," she breathed. Jisoo broke the lock on the cell. They rushed inside. Do-yoon did not move. His eyes were closed. For a terrible moment, Vila thought they were too late. Then his eyes opened. They were the same eyes she remembered. Tired and kind and brave. He looked at the soldiers around him with confusion. He saw the Valorian armor. He saw the human uniforms. He thought he was dreaming. "Another hallucination," he muttered. His voice was dry and rough, like he had not spoken in months. "You are getting better at this, Brang. This one looks so real." Vila knelt beside him. She took off her helmet so he could see her face. Her blue skin. Her silver eyes. Her antennae trembling with emotion. "It is not a hallucination," she said softly. "Doyan. Lieutenant Kang Do-yeon. It is me. It is Vila." He stared at her. His broken lips moved, but no sound came out. Then, slowly, tears began to fall from his eyes. "Princess?" His voice cracked. "You came for me? You came here for me?" Vila took his hand. His real hand. It was thin and cold, but it was alive. He was alive. "I never thanked you," she said. Tears were falling from her eyes too, silver drops on blue skin. "I never told you how brave you were, how good you were. You saved my life, and I said nothing. I treated you like you did not matter. But you mattered. You mattered so much." Do-hyun shook his head weakly. "I was just doing my job." "No." Vila held his hand tighter. "You did so much more than your job. You gave everything for strangers. You chose to die so that we could live. That is not just a job. That is everything." An alarm began to sound. The Devourers had found them. "We need to move," Jisoo said urgently. "Now, they are coming." Vela helped Do-yoon stand. He was weak, barely able to walk. She put his arm around her shoulders and supported his weight. He was so light. He had lost so much weight in 3 years of captivity. "Can you fight?" she asked him. He looked at her with a small smile. The same smile he had given her on the bridge 3 years ago, just before he died. Or almost died, for you? He said. Always. Jisoo gave him a weapon. He held it in his good hand. His grip was steady despite his weakness. They ran. The Devourers came after them, pouring through the tunnels like black water. The team fired back, cutting down enemy after enemy. 2 Valorian soldiers fell. Then a human soldier. They kept running. Do-yoon fought beside them. 3 years of torture had not broken him. 3 years of darkness had not killed his spirit. He moved slower than before, but he never stopped. He never gave up. They reached the ship. The pilot was already starting the engines. Devourers were everywhere now, climbing on the hull, trying to break through the windows. Everyone in! Jisoo shouted. Go, go, go! They jumped through the door. The pilot lifted off before the door was even closed. Devourer claws scraped against the metal as they rose into the sky. Then they were free, flying up and away from the nightmare moon dot in the passenger area. Vela and Do-hyun sat together. He was breathing hard, and his body was shaking. 3 years of fear and pain were finally releasing from him. You came for me, he said again. He seemed unable to believe it. You came all this way. Into enemy territory. For me? Of course I did. Vela held his hand like she would never let go. I love you. I should have told you 3 years ago. I should have told you before you walked onto that bridge. I was stupid and scared, and I did not understand my own heart. But I understand now. Do-yoon looked at her with wonder. You love me? A princess loves a human soldier? Yes. Vela smiled through her tears. This princess loves this human soldier. Very much. Too much. Maybe. But I do not care. I love you, Kan-do-yeon. I love you. He squeezed her hand. His eyes were full of tears, but he was smiling too. The biggest smile she had ever seen on his face. I love you too, he whispered. I thought about you every day in that prison. Your face kept me alive. The thought of seeing you again kept me fighting. I love you, Vela. I have loved you since the moment I saw you. The ship flew through the stars, leaving the darkness behind. Inside, 2 hearts beat as one. Human and Valorian. Soldier and princess. Short life and long life joined together in love. They have found each other again. And this time, nothing would separate them. 6 months passed like a gentle river. Do-hyun healed slowly but steadily. Human and Valorian doctors worked together to repair his body. They could not give him back his original arm, but they built him a new one. It was beautiful, made of silver metal and blue crystal, designed by both species working as one. His body healed. His mind took longer. Some nights he woke up screaming, trapped in memories of the prison. On those nights, Vela was always there. She held him until the shaking stopped. She whispered soft words until the fear went away. She never left his side. You do not have to stay with me all the time, Do-hyun said one morning. You are a princess. You have important things to do. Vela touched his face gently. Nothing is more important than you. The day of the ceremony came on a bright morning. The ceremony was held in the Grand Palace of Velos Prime. Representatives from the Human Federation stood beside members of the Valorian court. It was a historic moment. For the first time, a human would receive the highest honors of both civilizations. Do-hyun stood in the center of the great hall. He was wearing a new uniform, crisp and clean, with medals from the human military shining on his chest. His silver and blue arm caught the light as he moved. Queen Thalia walked toward him slowly. She held 2 medals in her 4 hands. One was human, a star made of gold. The other was Valorian, a crystal flower that glowed from within. Lieutenant Kang Do-yoon, she said. Her voice filled the hall. You came to our world as a stranger. You fought for people who were not your own. You gave your life, or nearly gave it, to save my family. Today, we honor you. Today, we thank you. Today, you become one of us. She pinned both medals on his chest. The human star sat beside the Valorian flower. Two civilizations joined together on the heart of one man. The crowd cheered. Humans and Valorians applauded together, their voices mixing in celebration. After the ceremony, Da-hyun found himself alone with Queen Thalia in a private room. The queen looked at him with her wise golden eyes. My daughter loves you, she said simply. You know this. Do-hyun nodded. I know, Your Majesty. And I love her. Valorians love once, human. Once and forever. When we choose a partner, it is for life. My daughter has chosen you. Do you understand what that means? Da-hyun thought carefully before answering. He knew what Thalia was really asking. Vela would live for centuries after he died. She would spend most of her life without him. Was that fair to her? Could he really accept her love knowing the pain it would eventually cause? I understand, he said finally. I know I will not live as long as she will. I know that one day she will have to say goodbye to me. But I also know this. Love is not measured by time. It is measured by depth. I will spend every day of my life making her happy. I will love her with everything I have. And when I am gone, she will have those memories. Good memories. Happy memories. That is all I can give her. But I think it might be enough. Thalia studied him for a long moment. Then, slowly, she smiled. It was a warm smile, full of approval. You are wiser than your years, human, she said. My daughter chose well. That evening, Do-hyun walked alone in the palace garden. The twin moons of Velos Prime were rising, one silver and one gold, painting the sky with soft light. Strange flowers bloomed around him, colors he had never seen on Earth. The air smelled sweet and unfamiliar. He heard footsteps behind him. He turned and saw Vela walking toward him through the flowers. She was wearing a simple blue dress that matched her skin. Her antennae moved gently in the evening breeze. She had never looked more beautiful. There you are, she said. I was looking for you. I needed some air. Today was a lot. She came to stand beside him. Together, they looked up at the twin moons. My mother told me what you said to her, Vela said quietly, about love and time and memories. Do-hyun felt his cheeks grow warm. I hope I did not say anything wrong. You said everything right. She turned to face him. Her silver eyes were shining with tears, but she was smiling. You said what I have been feeling but could not put into words. Love is not measured by time. It is measured by depth. She took his hand. His new hand, the silver and blue one. She lifted it to her lips and kissed it gently. I will love you for the rest of your life, she said. And then I will love you for the rest of mine. You will always be part of me, Do-hyun. Always. He pulled her close and held her tight. Her antennae brushed against his cheek, soft as silk. He could feel her heart beating against his chest, slow and strong. I love you, he whispered. I love you so much it scares me sometimes. But I would not change anything. Not the war. Not the prison. Not a single moment of pain. Because all of it led me to you. They stood together under the twin moons, holding each other close. Behind them, the palace glowed with light and music. Somewhere inside, humans and Valorians were celebrating together. Two civilizations joined in friendship. But here in the garden, there was only them. Only love. Do-hyun pulled back slightly and looked into her eyes. You crossed the galaxy to save me. You came into the darkness when everyone else gave up hope. I want to spend the rest of my life making sure you never regret that choice." Vela smiled. Tears fell from her eyes, but they were not sad tears. They were tears of joy, pure and bright as diamonds. "I could never regret you," she said. "Never." He kissed her then, soft and slow and full of promise. Their first kiss under alien stars. The first of many. Somewhere across the galaxy, the war continued. Devourers still threatened the peace. There would be more battles, more danger, more sacrifice. The future was uncertain and dark in many ways, but not here. Not now. Here, in a garden on a rebuilt world, a human soldier and an alien princess held each other close. They had found each other against impossible odds. They had survived darkness and pain and 3 years of separation. And now they were together, and they were home. The twin moons rose higher in the sky. The flowers released their sweet perfume into the night. And two hearts, different in every way that could be measured, beat as one. This was not an ending. It was a beginning. Their beginning. Together.